All Things Motoring International is owned and brought to you by SA's most trusted online vehicle platform, CHANGECARS. Our name says it all. Whether you're looking to sell, need advice, need finance, or need insurance, CHANGECARS has you covered. In this week's episode of All Things Motoring International, Mike and Ernest attend Cars in the Park at Zwartkops Raceway, and just like always, it doesn't disappoint. This is a show that features the present and the past.
It's 8 o'clock in the morning, we're at Zwartkops Raceway. The day has arrived, Cars in the Park, 8 hours ahead, 4 o'clock they start clearing out.
Yeah.
The next 8 hours are going to be manic.
It's the big one, and last year was my first time attending Cars in the Park, and I was absolutely blown away by the sheer volume of cars, but also the quality of the cars and the diversity of the cars. Kind of like South Africa, this is a diverse landscape.
Frick Kronwinkel, what you put together year in, year out is exceptional. This year is going to be extra special. What is stand out for me, and I always use the word stand out, is that we come here and today we are properly recognized. How many people have we already spoken to?
We've spoken to a couple, and also interestingly, we've spoken to people that we've already chatted to over the seasons. But today is going to be slightly different. Me personally, I want to walk about and speak to completely new people, make some new friends, and see some brand new cars.
Good luck with that one. I want to speak to everybody, old friends, new friends. You're going to love what we bring you. One thing me and Ernest can agree on, we both love all things motoring, but here's a point of disagreement. 1975 to 1980 Cortina versus the 1980 to 1984. Stop shaking your head, I'm telling the story. I said in the 70s, these Cortinas were absolute standout, but in the 1980s, I believe Ford went backwards. You disagree?
Don't necessarily disagree that they went backwards, but we're talking about these two cars behind us here specifically, and I just think this is an icon of Ford motoring, the iconic Ford Cortina from the 80s. I'm talking Speerders, I'm talking 30S, I'm talking Getaways, and I'm talking headrests, something that this one doesn't come with.
Nice not to interrupt him. You look at a 1970s Ford, look at the grille, look at the attention to detail around the headlights, look at the badge on the side. Then you go look at the 1980s and you get what you see on your screen right now. So how do you compare the two? The honest truth is, there is no comparison. I have no doubt that Ernest will disagree, as is his right, but we both know he's wrong.
I'm having a chat here with a fan of the show, Pieter Botha. The last time we just walked past your car, but this time we had to stop. I don't know if it's the custom steering wheel or the engine upgrades, but you've got a special 240Z at the back here. Tell us a bit about it.
I bought this car in 2001 from a guy, and it was in pieces, so I put it back together, I put the motor in, and then I've done some other work myself on it, made the steering wheel, made some wheel caps.
And you made these things, you made the steering wheel yourself?
I made it myself.
And the engine, what's done to the engine?
The engine is a 280 ZX engine that they've been bought out to 3 litre, and it's got a 3 side-off Weber's on. Yeah. Normally they come out with 2 issues, but I've got them at home. I've got the original motor at home.
Okay, so in case you want to restore it back to the original,
right.
You can.
Yeah.
On a car like this, it really is the small things that make a difference.
Quattro, RS4, RS6 and R8, all legendary nomenclatures. What do they have in common with this 1960 vehicle behind me? Very, very simple. The incredible 4 rings. When it comes to James Bond, we all have our favorite actor. For me, it is absolute standout Roger Moore. The year is 1977, the third movie he made, The Spy Who Loved Me. There was a couple of things that were standout, but one of them was this incredible Lotus Esprit. You are lucky enough to own 2 of them. Joe, you've got to share with us what it takes to own a car like this.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, in fact, I was in love with the Lotus the first time I saw one, when I just saw Lotus.
You do realize you're not alone in that.
yeah, so I was in love with it. And then the first car that I had the opportunity of buying was this one. In fact, I bought it from John Robbins, who owned about 7 cars at the time. 2 of them were Esprits.
Amazing. And you've owned this for a few years.
I bought this one from them, from Status Cars, from John Robbins in 1986.
Now, when you look at the Lotus Esprit, this is a car from the 1970s when aerodynamics were not the norm. This car looks sleek, modern. This was what I thought the year 2000 cars were going to look like. What engine have you got in here?
I've got the Lotus based on the Vauxhall Viva GT 2-litre. It's a 2-litre motor, and effectively it's really a nice car for its age. 16 valve already, so one of the very first 16 valve cars that came out. 4 valves per cylinder, and yeah, and it performed very well in its day. I mean, by comparison to today's cars, not that good, but
of course. But everything is relative. We're talking about a car here that is approaching 50 years old, 16-valve engine, when everything was, a 4-cylinder was 8-valve.
Exactly.
What is a car like this today worth? And the reason I say what is it worth, there cannot be too many of them around.
No, there aren't. I know that there's actually one in South Africa up for sale for about 1.4 bar.
Amazing. So that automatically makes yours worth 1.5?
Well, I don't know. but yeah, I think it depends on condition. There's not many in South Africa and overseas. It's strange that the S1s are actually sort of appreciated more in value than the turbos. And at the time that I bought mine for about half the price because I couldn't afford the turbo at the time. So,
in terms of ownership, maintaining a car like this, parts availability, servicing, how does that work?
well, that is difficult. I do as much as I can myself. Yeah, so you know, if something breaks, you try and fix it. There are certain things that you've got to try and get original parts. And then we use companies in the UK like lotusbits.com and various other, there are other companies. So you can still get parts for them.
Been absolutely stunning speaking to you. I love the passion, but the passion for the Lotus brand shines through. Your passion shines through.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Tell me you get a more good-looking car than a 1976 Lotus Esprit. James Bond said it was good enough for him, definitely good enough for me.
Coming up after the break, Temba visits Eastvaal Motor City in Witbank. Are you looking to sell? Visit CHANGECARS and click on the Selling tab.
Why, hello there. We are here today in Imalahleni, otherwise known as Witbank, to do some exploring around Eastvaal Motors. Now, I'm going to meet Clive, I'm going to meet Brad and the rest of the team, and hopefully by the end of the episode, I will have convinced them to lend me a car for a couple of days. So stay tuned and see how it goes. Come on. So continues our exploration of Eastvaal Motors here in Witbank this morning, and I have very excitingly bumped into Clive, the CEO. And I thought, who better to ask about the history of Eastvaal Motors, and I think more interestingly, your history in selling cars. So Clive, first of all, lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you for being around and coming to the small town. Always like visitors here.
Yeah.
So nice to have you. Yeah.
Really appreciate it. So I wanted to ask, selling cars, I mean, is that a calling? Is that something you always felt you would do? Because you're doing it on quite a scale now.
Yes, it's quite an interesting story. I've always been in car sales. Started selling cars close on 40 years ago, so it's quite a long history. I started in humble beginnings in Bree Street, Johannesburg, and was only wholesaling vehicles. I didn't retail. I was actually just supplying the trade, buying and selling of used cars.
Where are we today in terms of numbers? You've grown from the 2 small.
Where have we grown? We've grown from probably 2 brands to close on 30 brands today, with 13 business units.
Yeah.
So there's 13 business units. Most of them are multi-franchise units. This is our Suzuki Cherry dealership, and most of our dealerships have got the multi, and that's what we think is the winning formula. Our foremost part of our business is the after sales, and that's parts and workshop. That's the heart of the business. If you've got that right, everything falls into place. So, you know, there's five pillars to each one of our business, and each of them have got it. It's workshop parts, used cars, new cars, and of course, finance. So we're always there to assist and give the very best deal. And we won't let you down. We've got over 600 people working for us in this company, but the buck stops with me. So if you've got a problem, I've got a problem. There's no ways, the smallest or biggest, person can't phone me and I will rectify it or do whatever possible to see it's right. But there shouldn't be problems because we really over deliver, want to give the best deal, and I promise you we won't get beaten. We'll always beat any written quote on a new car. So remember that, Eastvaal Motors on the deal, we're going to deal now.
And you guys, you deliver nationwide?
Yeah, we deliver nationwide.
Amazing, Clive. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for being here.
Before Clive tries to sell me another car, I've nearly basically purchased 2. Yeah. But yeah, lovely meeting you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming.
And we've got a couple of more things to explore around the dealership.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Well, hello there, and welcome to Eastvaal.
Brad, that's my line. But listen, to all the viewers at home, we've just concluded a little conversation about the J-Coupe, beautiful vehicle behind me. So to end off the interview, I'm going to say, in the words of Mike, where are the keys and how long can I keep it for?
The car's all yours as long as you want.
There we go. Well, you won't believe it. Michael's line actually worked. They've given me the key as well as the car to go with it for a couple of weeks. So I'm going to be doing a review. I'm going to be enjoying the car. You can check that out on my socials. And for Season 8, we're going to be spending a lot more time here at Eastvaal Motors. We've got a great relationship with Clive and Brad. And of course, Michael is a big fan of the Motor Group. You can find them on CHANGECARS too. So many reasons to check out Eastvaal Motors. But if you want to see more of the journey, check it out right here, Season 8, as well as on my socials. But for now, I've got a sexy number to ride.
Coming up after the break, Mike and Ernest are back at Cars in the Park. Did you know? The Pretoria Old Motor Club, POMC, was started in 1966 by a few old car enthusiasts who felt a need to share information, skills, and parts. The first POMC Cars in the Park was held in 1980 at the POMC Club grounds in Silverton. By 2005, more than 80 clubs displayed about 2,000 vehicles, and the POMC grounds became too small to accommodate any further growth. After investigation, it was decided to move the event in 2006 to Zwartkops Raceway. The circuit first opened for business in 1961, with a 3.2-kilometer course which is fairly fast in nature and offered some reasonable elevation changes, particularly as the cars crested the fast sweepers at the westernmost point of the circuit. Originally designed to be run in either direction, the track soon settled on clockwise for its races. Looking for finance and insurance? Visit CHANGECARS and click on the Financial Products tab.
I've said it before and I'll say it again, and in future I'm going to have to say it again. How is it possible that you come to a show like this and you see cars that you've never seen before? Citroen next to me, this is absolutely spectacular. Whoever the owner is, you're not around, call me, I want to chat to you. We're with a true friend of the show, George Reeser. You've seen him on the show before, the Nissan 720 Sport Truck. Today, you got something exceptional, 1982 Mazda RX-7, but the engine's a biggie Varum, but this car's got a story, and this story is going to be told in October.
That's correct.
Tell us about that, George.
You know what? October month, I'm going to throw you the keys, and maybe I can get you from Audi to a Mazda. Let's see if we can convince you.
26th of October, we're doing Rotorfest. As I see George, he says, Michael, exactly that. I'm going to throw you the keys. You just need to know one thing about this car. I interrupted him. I was going to say, the thing is Varum and the tail must be happy. He said, you're right. How long have you had this?
I've got it now 3 years. I had an RX-8 and I swapped it for this, but the engine was a problem and the suspension and the wheels.
The way you like it, because then you can make alles.
Yeah, then I can Peter and crap. So me and my son, big shout out to my son, helped me plenty. And a big shout out to my friend Arthur Hubert at AJ Racing also. The fuel injection computer thing is a little bit new to me. Helped me very nicely along the way. First time today, drove it far from Meyerton to here.
And no problems?
And no problems, temperature nice, oil pressure nice. Now I'm happy. I'm really very, very happy. And I'm sure if I give you the keys, Rotorfest, you'll enjoy it.
I'm going to say this on camera, 26th of October, he's going to give me the keys. I can't make a promise that I'm going to give them back. George, to you and Michael and Magda, always a pleasure to see you. Thank you for the support. Wishing you the very best, my friend.
Thanks, Michael. Thank you.
They say families that race together stay together, and that's certainly been the case with the Motto family over here. You guys both race cars. Let's start with you, Aiden. What's it like to be in a racing family?
Your weekends are gone, you know, you're trying to work on the car the whole time. It's a fun family, you know,
Yeah.
Always everywhere together and always trying to help on now the cars especially. I wouldn't trade it for anything else.
I can see you guys are out at cars in the park. Carla, from your perspective as the mom in the family, what's it been like for you?
Stressful. I think, yeah, it's long hours. It's nice for me that my husband can do something with my son. And so I've decided, you know, if I want to be part of it, I've got to be all in. So I tow cars, strap cars, push cars. I can wipe oil. I can do everything. I'd like to race, but I don't think they would like me to.
Well, that's the thing. There's some competition in the family as well. You and your son both race. Do you sometimes race against each other?
We do. We have different cars, different classes. My car's a little faster, but I think he's the faster driver.
Okay.
So his lap times are very similar to mine,
Yeah.
even though it's half the cc's in his car. But it's lekker. It's nice. We push each other, and he sort of inspires me to try and be a little bit faster and a bit younger.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's lekker.
Well, motorsport has ways of keeping us young, and as you said, inspiring the younger generation, and they keep us young too. So look forward to seeing the Motto family on the track. Maybe a third car getting added soon as well.
So on your screen right now, you'll see 6 incredible years for Lotus where they dominated and literally dominated Formula One. Starting in 1963 with the legend that is Jim Clark, repeated defeat in 1965, became double world champion, sadly lost his life in the year 1968. In 1968, Graham Hill won the title, his second world championship for Lotus. In 1970 was an incredibly sad and unique year. The winner was a gentleman called Jochen Rindt from Austria, the only world champion ever to be awarded the title posthumously. In 1972, a young Emerson Fittipaldi became the youngest world champion. He went on to repeat defeat with McLaren in 1974, but that doesn't count. We're only talking Lotus. And the year is 1973. While they did not win the world title drivers, they won the Constructors' Championship. And who are they? Ronnie Peterson and Emerson Fittipaldi.
This interview is going to be slightly different. We're chatting with Manish over here, and when we don't have a car here, we just started talking. But we've also got a brand new cameraman behind the camera over there, Kavir, who is with you and your crew today.
Yes, that's right. That's my friend. He's his son, Dharmesh, and this is his son, Kavir.
Yeah, and he seems like quite an enthusiast.
Yes, definitely. You ask him anything, he knows from A to Z.
So our initial conversation revolved around Golfs. I know you're driving a Porsche at the moment now, but you're a Golf enthusiast as well. Of the Golfs 5, 6, 7, 8, tell us a bit about what your thoughts are on those cars.
Well, my first was a CTI, and from there I moved to a Golf 4 GTI. And then last one was my Golf R6. That was like one of the best I drove so far. After that, No, I never ever bought another Golf again.
After that, you went Porsche.
Yeah, that's right. I went to a Porsche. Yeah.
And the you got the 718. How's that been for you?
It's been quite well, quite nice. I'm enjoying it.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome, yeah.
Well, you guys must enjoy the rest of the show. And again, we'll make sure that Kavir over there gets credited in the credits, eh?
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Absolute pleasure.
Audi, BMW and Mercedes. Of the three, there's not a shadow of doubt in my mind that BMW's got the largest following, in part due to the vehicle behind me. 1983 is the year that the first 3 Series came to South Africa. It was the second incarnation of the 3 Series. We didn't get the original. Get hold of a November 1983 edition of Car Magazine, as you'll see on your screen right now, and the very vehicle behind me, 323i, 2-door, 5-speed manual, was tested. This car was standout. The same year the Golf GTI came out, Golf GTI, that was for middle class wannabes, this was for upper class, you have arrived. 2.3 litre straight 6 engine, 110 kilowatts, 205 Newton meters of torque, all the extras, electric windows, aircon, electric sunroof, incredible seats. I can't say enough about this incredible car, but don't take my word for it. What you see on screen is what this car is.
Here's the screen top tip of the week. Give it a waxing. Waxing your car not only makes it shiny, but also helps protect the paint from UV rays and dirt. Before you buy a second-hand car, screen it. It's what smart people do. Coming up next week on All Things Motoring International. With so much to see, the team rounds off their visit to Zwartkops Raceway and Cars in the Park. This is a show with even more nostalgia and memories.
Picture it. The year is 1975. Picture it.
Why, hello there, and I'm... Don't look!
Calling control, calling control. I feel like I'm lost. I thought I was at Cars in the Park in South Africa. It would seem I'm either in Russia or Botswana. Can't work out where this number plate is from.
Parts.
Joe, the keys for the car, where are they?
They're in the car.
Are they in the car? Will you do me a favor? Will you look left, please?
Actually, no, they're in my pocket. I just lied to you.
We've got a great relationship with Clive and Brad, and Michael is a great fan of the brand, of the motor group. Yeah, on second thought, I don't think this is where I parked my car. Let's go this way.
You are so excited to get that brand new vehicle, but you're looking for a specific model and specific color. Only to be told, sorry, there are none available. Change Cars, SA's most trusted online platform, will find exactly what you need, from A to V and everything in between. Change Cars, because that's what you want to do, and it's who we are. All Things Motoring International was brought to you by SA's most trusted online vehicle platform, Change Cars. Our name says it all. There is no safer online vehicle platform. That's not an opinion, that's a fact.